What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Welcome out, everyone. All of you great decoders around the world, wherever you may be. My name is Logan, your tour guide, and this is Decode Your Reality. And today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the binary system, the zeros and ones, the computer code. Binary decoded, and this one was a lot of fun to break down. I've been working on this one for a while. It shelved it, pulled it back out, and I just got so many decodes to do. So here it is, binary decoded, ladies and gentlemen. Put on a pair of headphones, get strapped in, get settled in, block out the outside world. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot of amazing things to show you. What is the binary system? Well, we know it's the computer code, right? But the zeros and ones, but what does that mean in the spoken language, the tarot, the whole alchemical aspects, pi and phi, and we're going to get into that. So let's start off with numerology, the science of numbers, and we're going to blend that right into the tarot to get the picture. So when you say 0 and 1, it gives you a total of 38. We're going to come back to that, but 0 is 21. And 1 is 17. So here are the two tarot cards to represent the binary system through the spoken word of Chaldean numerology, the oldest known numerology cipher in the world. Oh, we're speaking of the world. There's the 21st card. So the 0, you go down into the world. You go down into the portal. You get the 4 fixed signs of astrology there, which is tied to the ox, lion, eagle, and man. Almost said axe. And then you become the 1, the star. And the star is born. And all these amazing things on here, okay? The 0 and the 1. So what does it look like alchemically now? So we go from the 021 to the 117. Now we can even put hydrogen in here, but there isn't any 0 element on the periodic table. So when we use the science of numbers, numerology, convert that into the alchemy. Now this is called alchemology, blending numerology and alchemy together. We get scandium and chlorine. This comes from the Greek word chloros. And you go over to the trusty calculator and you add up. These are the most abundant isotopes, by the way. These are going to round up to 45 and 35, which is going to give you a different outlook, a different narrative. But there it is, 79.91. This is a big deal. This 91 being tied to Lucifer, this being tied to gold. Not only is it tied to gold in the sun, through the 79 protons, but it's also tied to the 34th element, selenium, as it has an atomic weight isotope of 79.91. And now, just like that, you have the bride and the groom, the as above. And then, to me, these represent the left and right hemispheres of your brain. Okay, there's other ways to spin this, but there you go, alchemically, numerology, alchemology, the trusty numbers in the calculator, et cetera, et cetera. And because it's gold, folks, right? Because it's gold and we're being harvested for our gold energy as we come down into the binary system. This could be a video game that we're coming down inside of. If you're a part of my Patreon, big shout out to my Patreons. I have the Game Over, Try Again, which was a big time release on how this reality just may work. But how about on the mainstream platform? You get an Oscar, you win an Oscar, or you win a Golden Globe. These are actor and actresses, folks. And look at how the comical this is. Actor and actress are a 17 and a 21, matching the 0 and the 1. And, actress is feminine, and the 0 is the womb. I mean, it's right there. I mean, going down the portal, growing into and evolving into this reality as you become the star. Women are the only, you women, you're the only ones that can give birth. So there you go. You can only give birth, the women can only give birth to the stars. And now a star is born. This is why Venus, that's why, this has a lot of tie-ins to Venus. Okay. Steve Halberton, his great research, right? So 38 is the big takeaway here for the mainstream. The Golden Globes, the Oscars. Gold, because it's the sun and the sun at night, the moon, which reflects off of the sun reflects off of it. And there you go. That's what an actor and actress looks like. Going down the portal, being born into this world, and now you get to be a star. A movie star, a rock star, a star in the world. Hopefully all of you have turned off the mainstream and you now have taken that time and put it into yourself to be that star of what you incarnated to be. So then we can convert it into the cards of illumination, and we can go to the 4 of clubs being the 17th card tied to actor, and the 21st card being tied to the 8 of clubs. This is the card tied to the simulation as well. This sits in space 35 in the solar spread charts. And then we convert the 8 of clubs into the tarot, and now we have the card of lightning. This is tied to Demiurge, Jehovah, Santa Claus coming down the hole. Remembering that it's the hole that we come down and the womb that we come out of. I'm not going to get all freaky and use some really sexual words, but you know what I'm talking about. The world, the womb, coming down through the hole, right? Santa Claus going down the chimney, that's the hole. And then it sets up shop, and now you create the happy home here. That's what this 4 of clubs mean. Anybody that's a 4 of clubs, you're going to be that sharp individual who's a system teacher, builder. You have a really sharp mind. And the 8 of clubs are very, very dynamic. This is probably one of the most psychic cards in the entire deck. It's the only card on its own. It doesn't have any other cards attached to it. And it's 8 representing the Taurus field, right? The mental realm from the clubs. So this is fast movement. So as you enter through the 0, the portal, you become the superstar. Now you're ready to set up shop, create the happy home, become the movie star, rock star, et cetera, et cetera. That's what this looks like as you enter into what appears to be a video game, and what this is saying right here. And there's the aspect of Santa Claus. Wanted to bring Santa Claus into this, right? Because the 38, through the string of the golden ratio, now we bring numerology into mathematics and the string of the golden ratio, the 1.61, which is the measurement of nature, which is the measurement of light. It's to me, the golden ratio represents nature and light. And this occupies digit 33 and 34. Most people that are watching this, you will have 33 vertebrae. Some of you may just have 34, right? So it encompasses everybody here. This 38 represents you as a human being. 33/34, the word tree in the Hebrew language, where tree of life came from, is the 34. And what's 33 and 34? 67. And just like that, we get ho, ho, ho. I should have put 3 here. It's holmium, ho. It's Santa Claus coming down the chimney. 67 is the 19th prime number. 19's tied to the sun. And then 19 is the 8th prime number. And then you just get this, the 8. You could start to see this when you start to pay attention, really, and get the extended layers beyond just numerology, because you get stuck there. Really, there's so many different avenues, so many different ciphers, but there's only one 67th element, you see, so that's easy to connect. And then just that 34 being tied to the moon as well. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, what it means to be a human being and an actor and actress in this amazing world we call life. So we're going to go 34 total digits of the golden ratio. Why? Because that's where that 38 sits, digit 33 and 34, matching the actor and actress, matching the 0 and the 1. And the total amount that we get, when we add them all up, we get 179, and that's a big deal because it's a prime number. We bring mathematics once again into this, and it's this 41st prime number here. And we can bring it right back into alchemy to get the picture. And it's this 72nd element called hafnium, which is where you can branch off and go look up and start to study the 72 angels and demons that perhaps run this reality. They hand the batons off. You get on the good side, the angel gets you. Then if you start to go on a bad bender, the angel's like, I can't work with this person anymore. And they hand it off to the demon. I'll take him or I'll take her. And now you're working with the dark side. It's a sliding scale, perhaps. And this icon's pretty dynamic when you go study this and you know what this means. So this 179 is a big deal, right? We can go now into more mathematics and numerology, and knowing the 179 found from the total addition of all digits there to encompass that 38 is the 41st prime number. 41st prime number is tied to the number 13. It's the 13th prime number. You're in a game. This is telling you you're in a game. You see, when you become an actor or actress, through your spinal cord, this is the tree of life, you will become an actor or actress. And you see, this is where you bring more theology into this, and where in the scripture in the Old Testament where it says, let us make man in our image, plural. It's very specific. Is it the angels and demons that made us? And then you have the word possessed. I know that's a really funky, eerie, scary word. Possessed. And there you go. There's the connection. So are we just possessed? Are we just puppet on strings? I say emphatically, my final answer, 1,000%. We are. And you gotta just, take a deeper look at that, what it means for you in your life. So that's, actor and actress, you get possessed. Like, what is the possession? The voice in your head. Where does these things come from? Try to explain that. Try to sit with that logically and use some critical thinking. Where is the voice in your head coming from? There's no way to narrow it down and pinpoint it and to give an exact, all we can do is look and decode, and this is what we're getting for results here, folks. This is what we're getting here for results. I mean, it's not just in the Old Testament. It's also in the Vedas. It's in the Egyptian book of the... you go start to study these ancient texts and they all say the same thing. They all start to say the same thing. So the actor and actress being the 17 and the 21 found from the 0-1 in the binary system, they form the cards, the world and the stars. We've already gone over. Now we want to do the numerology of these two cards, and you can see that you become the number 60. Now, the word star is the big standout because it's the 24. 24 is tied to Jesus in the Greek. The original spelling of Jesus is 24. That's why I have been continuing to say, many of you great decoders have been coming up with it. You're seeing that you are Jesus Christ, male or female. Jesus was androgynous. That story, that context, was it a real guy? Who knows? Who cares? The story makes it real. People talk about it. There's merit to the story, right? So it doesn't matter if the guy really incarnated. What matters is that you really incarnated and you're tied to the Christ. Even Jesus Christ equals 36. The word operating as an operating system equals 36. This is the operating system. And then you become part of that as the star, the movie star, the Truman Burbank star. That's what looks like. And so it's a total of 60. Where do we go with the 60? Well, we can go right now and see that it's the one. You become and this is where you're going to get Neo in the Matrix, the savior, because that is who you are. Every single one of you watching this, I'm getting a ringing in my ear now. That is exactly what each and every one of you are. You are the Neo character. This is neodymium. This is going to be isotope 143. They're going to round up. This has several isotopes. Its most abundant is 141, which will be 142, 241. If you know how to read the numbers, let's just go to that here. And I just want to show you how important this is. Where am I at? Here we go. So if we go to numberempire.com and we type in 241, most of you know it's the 53rd prime number. That's a permutation. That is a permutation of that 142. Okay? And again, the most abundant of neodymium is 141.9 something. It's going to round up to the 142. This one rounds up to the 143. But what does that 53 mean? That's the question. What does this 53 mean? You go back to alchemy and you look at the 53rd element on the periodic table, and it becomes the I. I am this. I am that. That's what's using you for your identification. That's why ID, identification, starts with the letter I. Going inward. God, the kingdom of God is within you, inside of you. It's all about I, folks. That's what this is saying here. So anyway, it's 60, right? The world and the star, which is forming the actor and actress, which is forming the binary system. You getting plugged into the matrix, you become the 60, you become the Neo character. And this is they make magnets out of it. It's very magnetic. So we as stars become very magnetic in an electromagnetic world. Okay, you get polarized here, as they say. And you just keep going with this right here, and it's all about this, ladies and gentlemen. It's about feeding the wolf. I have talked about this many times, that, we live inside of a machine. Check out my Pink Floyd Welcome to the Machine. I know that's what they were talking about. This reality is a machine. It's an operating system. And you're the Jesus Christ Superstar Experience. That's why these all match up to 24. Feed the wolf. The wolf is 24. The wolf is a predator. This reality is a machine, which is a predator. This is a predator. Okay, it needs your energy to keep this whole thing keeping harvesting, et cetera, et cetera. This is what this looks like right here, ladies and gentlemen. 24. The star, 24. Jesus being the star. You are the Christ character. This is your screenplay. The cross means your screenplay. What your code is, your cosmic blueprint. Your whole predestined life, it's all predestined for you. Okay? That's my final answer. And I got tons to support what I'm saying here as my final answer. So I came out with this a long time ago doing John Wick Decoded, the very first one. And I did Keanu Charles Reeves, his birth certificate, alchemology. Alchemology is taking numerology, bringing it into alchemy, and then getting over to the trusty calculator and adding it up. And all of you should have done this already with your birth certificate name. Several different ways that you can do this, but clearly you can see he has an outcome of 143 matching neodymium. So the question is, did the Wachowskis and whoever casted him, and this is just one small bit of how coded and scripted and predestined this guy's life was. Did they know this alchemology? Did they know this kind of stuff? I don't know. But there it is, staring us in the face. Neodymium, right there, isotope 143. This is his alchemology, folks. And he was Neo. Come on. No accidents, no coincidences, pure synchronicities here. So this 143 is a big deal, right? And I had come out with this on my Prison Planet series. The last one I did, Prison Planet 4. And I decided to look at the 7 celestials. Now, can you go past this? Sure. In classic Vedic astrology, they only go up to Saturn, Kronos. They do not count. You'll see Vedic astrologers now obviously extending out, utilizing and bringing in and defining Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. But classically, the lineup of the planets, if you're going to get your chart ruler in astrology, it will be one of these. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. It will be one of these 7 that will be your chart ruler. Your chart ruler is going to be the celestial that is at the highest degree in your chart. And it just so happens that when you do the numerology of all 7 of these, you get the 143. And when you bring it into the string of the golden ratio, ladies and gentlemen, it gives you that 941. 941. And 941, ladies and gentlemen, let me just go here and show you this through the calculator. See it right there? See pineal? Oh. It's 914. It's just not 941, but it's 914. Okay. And then if you go to the English and you type in I am, you're going to get 914. See? So I am is you. It's the pineal gland, which regulates the sleeping patterns, your awake state and your sleep state. Having a daydream, having a nightmare. That's the comedy. We just all asleep and we just having a dream. There's a lot of merit to that, but there you go. And are these the 7 archons through the Gnosticism and the text and all that? Are these the 7 archons? Okay, running this reality. Well, I mean, you can see the connections here, tied to feed the wolf, right? Tied to this neodymium element right here, isotope 143. So there's a massive amount of merit going to that. Are they creating the binary system? Are we just inside of a video game, a simulation? My answer is 1000% yes. This is a movie, simulation, video game. You're being controlled remotely. You're on a predestined script. Is there any wiggle room for that? Yeah. I'm still being scripted and coded, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fully aware of what's going on. Yet I still see the code playing out in my life every single day. It constantly reminds me. So, here's the 60th card in the tarot, right, to get the picture. So this is what it means to be spirit into matter. When you're spirit, you're up in the spirits, you're in the heavens, right? Maybe all the stars in the canopy, maybe one of those stars is an angel and it's remote controlling you. That may be just the way it is. There's enough stars to catch every single person here. If you look up in the canopy, maybe that's just the way this is, and maybe Earth is a vacation spot. Maybe it's a game. Maybe it's a movie. Like you're a spirit, and you're like, you know what? I want to go play that game. I'm gonna be an avatar. There's a lot of talks about this, folks. So you become the star here, and you got to die a spiritual death. You got to die from the spirit into matter, and that's why you get this 10 of Swords. So this card is in the cards of illumination. It's tied strictly to Neptune. It's a Neptune card. The owner of this card, and so you get the sea monster, and there's a lot of reference. Neptune has the trident, which is the devil's pitchfork. Neptune is the very mystical planet. It's really heavily tied to addictions, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of merit to Neptune there. And here's the 10 of Spades, which is the Neptune card. If you go to the cards of illumination, the boilerplate chart, here it is, and you go over to the spirit side here, which is the handler card of your ego card over here, you're going to clearly see that in space number 7, okay, they don't include the sun and moon here in these, but up at top in the crown line they will. But this is not only the 7th space, but it's the Neptune vertically and horizontally. You see, this is like a bingo chart. So there you go, the 10 of Spades, and then the card over in the ego spot's the Queen of Hearts, and that's the Queen of Wonderland. So Neptune just may be, Poseidon running the seas. It just may be running the binary once you enter into it, and it controls your screenplay. Okay, that's kind of how I see it at this point. So this card right here is card 49, and that's matched to the words Down in a Hole. There's a song by Alice in Chains, Jerry Cantrell, Down in a Hole, Losing My Soul. That's what he sings. Down in a hole, losing my soul. Sands rain down upon my head. That's sitting in the hourglass of time. That's what he was singing about. He was singing it about to a girl, but so these songs have multiple meanings. Okay. So we continue to go here, and you can clearly see, I did this illumination decoded, and I showed how the down in a hole being 49 is tied to this element indium because it has 49 protons. Again, these elements, they're not just clues, they're bridges. They bridge the gap between numerology and words and statements and tarot cards and cards of illumination. And, indium, when you say it, is 21, and there you go, right? So down in a hole you go, 49. And you go down through into the portal and you become a player character. Okay? If you check out, this is one of my bigger decodes, illumination. That's how I spell it, with an A. It's all about the al, aluminium, a luminary body. That's where illumination came from. And then just more of this, bringing it into the string of pi, the 21, where as you enter into the world, this is at the 93rd and 94th digit. 93 is Neptunium, 94 is plutonium. So there is some merit to Neptune and Pluto as well in this whole entire scope of things. Okay, so as we move a little bit more forward into the 0 and the 1, we break it down and connect more words to show you, just how this whole thing just might look. So as you enter the 0, right, you enter the dragon. I did a decode on that. The dragon is the movie. It's the video game. It's the Matrix. You become a Neo character. Neo is a enneagram of 1. Okay, just the same letters, just moved around differently. Yod He Vav He equals 17, which is tied to the demiurge, obviously. Is it just using us as characters here, right? And then you get this actor and actress here. So this is what it kind of looks like, adding more words on to the whole scheme of things to give you a broader scope of the binary system here. And it's lights, camera, action. As I've been continually showing over and over, big shout out to Roland, the great decoder. He's the one who first kind of threw this at me, lights, camera, action. And it's probably been a very long time that he did bring this out. And then I just took off with it. So, this is why I'm saying a lot of you great decoders give the ideas. It's so hard to credit everybody, but I try to remember. Nonetheless, bringing the string of the golden ratio into this once again, where is digit 56? It's tied to that number 21, which is the 0 and enter. See, when you enter through the portal, you now enter the movie, okay? 21. And even if you go look at Ra, the sun god Ra, ladies and gentlemen, keeping your eyes on the Chaldean there, Ra, it's 19, which is the sun in the English, and then you go look at the Chaldean and you can clearly see that it's the 2 and the 1. Okay, big, mighty Calusia. Ra being the Egyptian sun god, the law one. Of course, and what is Ra? What is it tied to? Is it the sun? Is it the celestials? Is it more than that? Well, clearly you can see that 21 tied to enter in the 0, and the world card is going to occupy that digit 55 and 56. And when you add 55 and 56 up, you're going to get 1, 1, 1. And that's going to be tied to the number 7, because the number 7 is the 111 binary number. 7 is the 4th prime number. Okay, so these are really big humdingers here to take into consideration on how this source code works, ladies and gentlemen. And then if I go 56 digits into the string of the golden ratio, and we find that number 21 at the very end there, we're going to get a total of 271 for all the 56 digits added up of where that 21 of enter the 0 through the binary system, enter the world to become the star. And then we get 271, and that's a big deal because it's the 58th prime number. And 58 is tied to the word puppet master, remote control. Been showing this over and over again. It's also tied to cobalt and nickel. They both have that 58 for their atomic mass, nickel being devil's copper, cobalt being cobalt leaning to the sun. Coming from the German word cobalt with a K, the numerology is 19, which is the sun, okay? So I really feel like this is how it works. I've been saying this kind of, like beating a dead horse here. I've been saying this so much, but I'm just trying to get the visuals, trying to get you great decoders to really take a look at this and do some critical thinking on what I'm showing you here. The patterns have been emerging over and over, and these are fixed in the golden ratio and, of course, mathematics. And now we have the fixture of the tarot and numerology and just keeping it in Chaldean to keep it really tight. Okay, use other ciphers and, it starts to, bridge off and branch off, and you got to really kind of dig a little bit deeper. But as I've been showing, the 58 tied to Puppet Master, being a puppet on strings, being a star down here, being the Jesus Christ Superstar experience, but how much wiggle room do we have as characters? You start to look at your life, you see how scripted it is. It doesn't seem like you have a lot of wiggle room in this reality. So where's the 58? Okay, we have the 271. We know it's tied to the movie here, 56, okay? 56 digits. We know it's lights, camera, action. But now we want to go and extend upon the 58, and now we're going to go and find the 58 in the string of the golden ratio. We got to go 24 digits. Remember, Jesus in the Greek is 24. Okay, going back, telling you, you're a puppet on strings. I know some of you are not going to accept that. That's totally fine. Maybe just not you. Everybody else, but just not you. That's totally fine. All that matters is what you believe, ladies and gentlemen, not what I'm saying. But I'm welcoming you to go study and decode your life, and what you're going to see is a predestined script. Okay, and then that's the beauty. You can surrender to it, and you become more powerful. The total amount that you get for all 24 digits, where that 58 is found, from Puppet Master, the remote control tied to that 271, tied to lights, camera, action, is the 127. What is that number there? It's tied to the belly of the beast. It's tied to Prison Planet, ladies and gentlemen. I got this coming out on my Lake of Fire. Okay, Lake of Fire Decoded. And this right here says it all. Are we just in the belly of the beast? See, I think so. I think the whole cosmos is a big anthropomorphic being. And you got light that gets swallowed down the hole. And now you're in the belly of the beast. And there you go. There are the 24 digits. Jesus is 24 hours in a day. And it's 127, which is tied to this element called tellurium, 52nd element. This comes from the Latin word tellus, which means earth. That's why they got the earth here. And 52, as I've been showing over and over and over. I got a whole series on it. Prison Planet 1, 2, 3, and 4. Please go check those out. Prison Planet is 52. Okay. Even you bring this into alchemy, 26 is the element iron. You have iron in your blood necessary to pump that through with oxygen, and all the clues are there, ladies and gentlemen. So the question is, do we ever get out? That's the big question. That's the big question. So this is what it looks like through alchemy and the binary word itself. Binary being the number 12. It's a mirror of the 21. Remember, Ra is tied to the 21. There are 12 zodiac signs, classic lineup of the 12 zodiac signs. And it's the Hangman, which of course is going to be a Pisces card. Pisces represents the 2 feet that you put on the ground to walk along this earth. The 2 fish in Pisces represent the 2 feet that you have right here. And you're hung upside down because, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you came, most of you, like natural childbirth, you come out head first. That's the way you come out. Covered this in my Prison Planet series. Did a whole lot of graphics on that. Bringing the 12 into the string of the golden ratio, it occupies digit 122 and 123, and you go right back to alchemy to get that picture, and bam, there it is. It's the element antimony, coming from the Greek words antimonos, which means not alone. You're a puppet on strings, folks. This is going to be inside your brain. Every single one of you, if you slice your brain open, if you're a human, you're going to have this inside your brain. It's the all-seeing eye. This is why the Egyptians used it, the symbol, okay? Because it's you being used by the celestials, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever else beyond that, the canopy. Maybe an individual star is running you remote control, from remote control. These are no-brainers here, 122 and 123. And so I'm going to get into a little bit of some new stuff here. Now, I guess you could say this is more computer science here. Well, maybe not, but we're still getting into mathematics and decoding. And so what I really wanted to do is I wanted to show you how crazy scripted this decode is on the binary now. Because the binary, I mean, I have a lot of course, important decodes. I would imagine every one of you have a favorite or a few favorites that just think that they're really at the top of the list. But this one's really important because the 0 and the 1 it's a language. And we have the 0 is 21 and 1 is 17. So in the 56 digits, which we already know is lights, camera, action, we locate the 17 and the 21. There we do. We locate them. So we scrap all these numbers here. 17 is tied to Neo and the 1. 21 is tied to the 0, and you enter the 0. And it seems like you fall down these numbers here until you get to being the star here. So these numbers I have underlined are the big numbers in question here. And so let's add those up and see what we get for an outcome. And ladies and gentlemen, the outcome is absolutely bonkers crazy. We have 17 digits here. Right there. 17 digits in between the 1 and the 0, okay, for the numerology of this. And it gives us a total of 18. And this right here is the numerology of the tree of life in Judaism. How about that? The 80 is the tree of life. Okay? And this is the digits in between the portal to get in here, 0, and then dumping onto the number 1. Coincidence? Am I stretching anything at all? Now, you can do this for a few other things. I'm introducing these new techniques, hoping that you'll take a hold of these and start to use them in your own decoding efforts. All right, so we're gonna recap on this and go a little bit deeper. Okay, so we have the 0 and the 1 being 21 and 17. We know Neo is the 1, 17 obviously. 17 is tied to matrix. It's tied to the word fish, tied to the word yod hey vahe. Okay, it's tied to the word life. 17 is a prime number. It's the 7th prime number. 7 is the 4th prime number. And then we have a connection that is just comical. We have the 2 Thomases. You see, they named Neo Thomas A. Mr. Anderson Thomas. And we have this guy who his birth certificate name is Thomas John Ellis. He was born on November 17th. 17. 17. 17. 17. So is this a coincidence? Is this just slick marketing? I mean, obviously this came out in 99. This came out in, 2016 or something. I mean, what are the odds here, ladies and gentlemen? Well, let me just show you how crazy scripted these 2 guys, these 2 actors. This one has a character named Thomas. He really has the birth certificate named Thomas. He was born on the November 17th, by the way, is the 321st, 322nd day of the year in leap years. Oh yeah, it certainly is. But I decided to look at, a flash of white, right? I decided to look at, like I often have done, the timestamps of their birthdays. Ladies and gentlemen, first I want to draw your attention to their birthdays. Keanu Charles Reeves, September 2nd, 1964, who's been born on a Wednesday. That's mercurial. Mercury, the messenger. In the movie, he was the messenger. And then Thomas John Ellis, born on a Friday, which is a Venus day. There's a reference to Venus there. And November 17th. So you have 2 and 17. 2 and 17 is going to give you 19, which is going to be tied to the sun card. But the 217, ladies and gentlemen, is a permutation of the 271, which is the 58th prime number. And I just go right back up here. And the ridiculousness of this code. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? The belly of the beast. This is tied to the lake of fire. Prison planet. I mean, what are you going to do with this now? You got all the numbers. Or you think they just coincidentally casted Keanu Charles Reeves and then they casted Thomas John Ellis and they named him Thomas Anderson because they knew Thomas John Ellis was born. He was born in 1978. Right there. 14-year difference. Even their freaking days on the calendar, exactly from September 2nd to November 17th, 5,189 days. And that is a freaking prime number, 691, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that's a permutation of? 691 is a permutation of 196, which is gold, which is tied to the sun. Aurum is 19. Okay? If I go to Aurum, 19. 19, folks. 19's tied to the sun card in the tarot, right here. It's tied to the sun card. Aurum, gold. And these guys have the 2nd and the 17th, which total up the number 19. And they have the 271 as the permutation. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Predestined script. They didn't have a choice. These 2 guys, the great actors that they are doing the roles that they're doing because they're being used to do the roles that they're doing, just like you are. That's why these timestamps come out this way. I mean, if you watch my White Rabbit Resurrections, part 4, The Matrix, I showed you the uncanny, crazy code between Keanu Charles Reeves and Catherine Ann Moss, who played Trinity. The undeniable code between these two is just mind-blowing. And now you see it here. You have a Thomas and you have a Thomas. And now you're seeing it. He's born on the 17th. He's the one. This is the 17th card. Neo is the one in the Matrix. I mean, come on. How many more things do we need to see here, folks? How is this happening? How is this possible? Oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The belly of the beast, right? So the binary systems, the hangman, already showed this right here. The 1, 2, I don't know why I had it twice. The binary number 12. Here, we're now going to get into some alchemy and show you a little bit more of an extension on the word binary. Binary being 12. We can incorporate that into these two elements right here. Carbon through the isotope, okay? And then magnesium from the protons. Now, this is magnesium's most abundant isotope. This will round up to 25, okay? This will round up to 25. And this will be 23 point something for its average isotope. I'm going with the most abundant. So this is what the 12 is going to incorporate to. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, in astrology, I don't think I have a picture of it. This is the house of Virgo. This is the house of Pisces. Okay, we talked about the Pisces being right here. This is the card of Pisces. You come out head first. Natural childbirth, you come out head first. And now you're a puppet on strings. Except for you, I know. There are people that are like, not me. Okay, yeah, not you. Everybody else, but not you. But there it is, right? We have the house of Pisces and the house of Virgo. Carbon, magnesium. And when you do the alchemology of the word binary, we have helium, hydrogen, boron, hydrogen, helium, hydrogen. Okay, again, I'm using the averages here. We go over to the trusty calculator. You're going to get 21.81. And this 81 on the back end is a very big deal. Let's first address the 21. That's enter. The 21 is a mirror of the 12. Remember, Ra is 21. Saturn equals 21. And then you have the 81 on the back end, which is important because I just did this decode. And it was Welcome to the Jungle, and that's 81. You know the song by Guns N' Roses? Huge hit off Appetite for Destruction. 80 freaking 1. There's the 81. Right? So you enter the jungle. That's what this says right here. You enter the jungle. Clearly, this is what this is saying. Clearly, this is what this is saying, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to do a little bit more of this, this new technique that I've been using. And we're going to now snag the digits in between the 21 and 81 here. I'm going to take the 21 and 81. And again, you can fool around with this and do this on your own. I would encourage all of you to start messing around with this new technique. Okay? You can take any digits, any outcomes you get and try to locate them in the string of the golden ratio. And then you want to measure the distance in between these and add these digits up, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this has merit. Now, will it work for everything? Probably not. Okay? But for the big things, obviously, we're looking at here, the alchemology of the binary system. Numerology into alchemy becomes 21.81. And so I'm going to take that 21.81, I'm going to measure that into the string of the golden ratio, and then we're going to get the digits in between like I did for the 21 and 17, and look at the outcome that we got. Enter the jungle. And how do you enter it? Through this string of numbers. See, these are the portals. I feel like when you get plugged in, when Neo gets plugged in, he has to go through a whole sequence of numbers to go into the matrix. And these are the numbers in between the 21 and 81 where the binary comes out for the alchemology, and it's 88, which is tied to Back to the Future, 88 miles an hour for time travel. Think about what I'm showing you here. Time travel. Now, to extend upon this, to give this even more support, I'm going to do it one more time, but now I'm going to add the 81 and 21 so it has all the numbers, and we get that beautiful, amazing number 100. And now you get to show the 100, and now you get bigger picture and broader picture. Now we have another series of mainstream, the 100 off the CW, Cass Morgan, who wrote the book series. We now have this is all about surviving, getting thrown off the ark. These are criminals. Is this how we are? We just descendants of criminals. This their penance? Check out the song, It's a Long, Long Way from Home from Foreigner. Go read the lyrics. Open your mind. It's a long, long way from home by Foreigner. Please go read the lyrics to that song because it talks about having a penance. A penance is a prison sentence. These are prisoners being thrown down into the gates of hell, earth, right? And now you have the 100 based off the binaries alchemology. Super, super interesting. Remember, 56 digits is lights, camera, action. 271 is the 58th prime number. Already showed all that kind of stuff. Tied to Lucifer, tied to Neo. These are all no-brainers. Talking about this is big deal stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. Even though this is new, you probably never seen this technique before, but I'm encouraging all of you to do it because clearly you can see that, it wasn't just one outcome. Adding up the digits in between the 21 and 81, which obviously would probably be that decimal point, going down into the hole. But it was also, the total is 100, and that's tied to the 100. The fallen angel story is in there. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what I got. What did you see for this presentation of Binary Decoded? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Just keep them cordial. You don't have to agree with me. I don't want you to agree with everything I say. Please do your own research. Be a critic. I'm a critic in life. Be a super critic. Nitpick. But start to decode your life. A lot of people ask me, where do I start? Start decoding yourself. Start decoding your children, and you're going to start to see that this is a predestined script. You have a screenplay in your life, and all the moving parts is astrology, numerology, all these numbers and all this technique that I'm doing. You're going to start to be able to see your life is going to fit there. From your high school mascot to the latitude, longitude of where you were born, to your telephone number added up, to your social security number added up, you're going to start to see that your life is a predestined script. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. Decode your reality. Appreciate each and every one of you. Big shout out to the Patreons for supporting this great research. I send out a ton of love to all of you guys and gals from Mexico, wherever you're on the world. Until next time, we will see you later.